You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Wednesday, May 6th. I'm Maria Lisignoli.
I'm Johnny Kahner. Thank you for listening to Four Things to Know.
Our top story today, an iconic Excelsior bar and restaurant gone overnight.
Just a crazy story.
It really is. It is closed now for the foreseeable future after a devastating fire overnight. There is extensive damage to Haskell's Port of Excelsior on Water Street after a fire set off an alarm around 1:30 this morning. Adam Duxter has been talking to people in the Lake Minnetonka community. He actually spoke with one of the owners, Ted Farrell. Here's his report from noon.
I can tell you that more than 10 hours later, there are still fire crews here at Haskell's working to put out all the hot spots that are left in this roof. But for so many people, this fire comes as an absolute shock because here in Excelsior and on this Lake Minnetonka community, this place is a staple. Been around for nearly a half century right here in the exact same spot. And folks say this is devastating, not just for this business, but for this community as a whole. As you said, this call came in just around 1:30 this morning, and it took firefighters from 5 different cities more than an hour and a half to put the flames out. The owner here says the restaurant is considered a total loss. They're still waiting to hear about the liquor store that is attached. The city has come out to show their support, and the business as it is has been around since the 1970s, owned by the same family. I spoke with one of the owners this morning who says this is still hard for him to believe.
It's the people of the city. I hate to say it. Look around. It's the people who come here every day. It's their life. It's their livelihood. You know, it's an institution in the Excelsior and also on Lake Minnetonka where, you know, this is where people come, get together, play bingo, and it's gone. It's pretty tough.
She says he's grateful for 2 things. One is that no one was inside and no one was hurt during this fire. And 2, he says they were able to recover what has become quite the famous fish that hangs on the walls here, a 52-inch northern. He says that one of his brothers caught years ago was still salvaged in this fire. And he says that was the sign for him that they're going to be able to rebuild. And he says that is the plan. They're already talking to insurance to make that happen.
Really is such a devastation for the community. I mean, it's such a staple there in Excelsior.
Absolutely, Maria. I mean, we both grew up in the West Metro, so, you know, I've hung out there before. It is a staple right on Water Street there, right by the water.
I used to work at Bayside Grill, which has closed, but that was right next to Maynard's restaurant, which is still there, which we love. But it was so common that after work at Bayside, you know, the employees would go on over to Haskell's and grab a drink, or, you know, it was just such a community gathering spot. It's crazy to see the footage of it all burned down.
Yeah, really sad to see it. They always had just a fun little patio. You just sit outside, have a quick beer, watch the sunset or whatever.
So unfortunate. Again, we don't know what caused it yet. Investigators are looking into it, but we'll keep you updated.
Number 2 today, a St. Paul cop is accused of breaking into a grocery store where he used to work and stealing items like diapers and supplements. Tommy Adams was a loss prevention officer at Cub Foods in Bloomington for 24 years. He quit in 2017, and now he's charged with breaking into his old office more than a dozen times between 2024 and 2025. Charges say he would move around security cameras, bag up merchandise, and then move the cameras back and leave. So how did he get caught? The complaint says an empty Gatorade bottle in the trash tipped off a loss prevention investigator. He had emptied the trash, and no one should have been in the office after that. Prosecutors then charged Officer Adams with 13 felonies. He is not in custody right now, but is due in court later this month. St. Paul Police Chief Axel Henry responded to the charges today, saying, quote, "I was sad to learn of these actions, but I trust this has been a thorough investigation. Officers, like everyone else, must be accountable for our actions. This starts by holding ourselves to the highest standards for our community, for our profession, and for this department."
Now to your third thing to know today. 2 new bills signed by the governor could help families going through a traumatic time. The son of former House Speaker Melissa Hortman pushed for these bills so other families wouldn't have to face the same difficulty that he did cleaning up his parents' home after they were murdered. Colin Hortman is the son of Melissa and Mark Hortman, who were attacked and killed in their home last June. Now, one of these new laws focuses on the chemicals that law enforcement use when responding to emergencies inside a building. Agencies will now have to disclose exactly what they used, so families know what they're dealing with when it comes to cleanup. Colin spoke to a House committee back in March about what his family faced after that night. He says police used tear gas and other irritants while responding at the Hortman home. And those chemicals, he says, caused significant damage, making repairs to his childhood home far more difficult than they expected.
The part that concerns me most is that my family had resources that most people do not have. We had attorneys helping us because of the criminal case. We had connections in the state government. We had the ability to wait months for testing, reports, and negotiations. Even with all of that, the process felt extremely slow, confusing, and difficult to understand.
Now, the second bill signed by the governor streamlines the insurance process for families, and it clarifies what cleanup work is covered in order to make a home safe again. Vance Belter, the man accused of killing the Hortmans, as well as shooting Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette while their daughter Hope was there at home, could face the death penalty. In late April, a U.S. attorney submitted a recommendation to the Justice Department, but it hasn't been disclosed if that recommendation is for or against that punishment. The decision is now up to the U.S. Attorney General.
Number 4 today at the state capitol, hunger relief leaders called on lawmakers to prioritize funding for food banks and food shelves. Those leaders say this is very important because in 2025, Minnesota saw its 4th consecutive record-breaking year for food shelf visits. And as part of the call to action today, volunteers also packed hundreds of pounds of food in front of the Capitol. The Relief Network is asking lawmakers for $20 million in funding that would go to food shelves and food banks. Now, we will, of course, keep you updated on where that request goes. And Maria, if you would like to help out, this Saturday is the Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive. So if you leave food donations by your mailbox, your letter carriers will collect and donate it to a local food shelf.
This is awesome. I first heard about this today, but it's been going on for a long time. The National Association of Letter Carriers says this will cover much of the state of Minnesota. Rural locations are, a little iffy, but you can always check to see if your zip code is covered by searching on their website. And this is awesome, I think.
Yeah, how easy is that? You just leave some food outside.
Literally, put it in a bag, put it by your mailbox on Saturday. So not today, Saturday. But then your letter carrier will do the next.
That's really nice.
Yeah. One thing to note, though, I saw this on the website. Don't donate money in that bag, just food. For now, you can always donate money online or something, but yeah, just food. It's a cool thing. It's been going on for more than 30 years, and so far, 1.94 billion pounds of food in the U.S. Has been donated during that time.
That is a lot of food.
A lot of food.
Let's add to the total. Those are the 4 things to know today. Let's now get a check-in. It's chilly outside. Let's check in on that forecast.
Hi, I'm next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows. Get ready for another chilly night with low temps dropping to the 30s tonight. 39 here in the Twin Cities, jumping back up to 62 as we head into tomorrow.
And now, here's more to know.
A leadership change put Border Czar Tom Homan in charge here during the ice surge. And now, in an exclusive CBS interview, he admitted things weren't perfect. Homan gave new insight into potential consequences for the agents who killed 2 Minnesotans. He made it clear the investigations into those agents are still ongoing. As for if they're found guilty of breaking the law, here's what he had to say.
If they violate the law, they got to be responsible. When they violate policy, we got to be held responsible. I said from day one, we need to be transparent in everything we do. And I'm not going to comment on those investigations.
But you support consequences
if there's wrongdoing, absolutely.
Found.
Yes.
Agents killed Renee Good in January and then Alex Preddy a few weeks later. The federal government isn't cooperating with local investigators or releasing any updates on their probe. Homan was also pressed on the reason behind the months of chaotic scenes, like when Border Patrol head Greg Bovino was leading the operation. He insisted he made changes based on his experiences and fixed the problems. Alex Preddy was an ICU nurse at the VA hospital in Minneapolis. Now, several employees say the VA is investigating them after they attended vigils for Preddy. Becky Halioa, a recreational therapist at a VA center in Georgia, explains.
I think that it's a scare tactic, but truthfully, I don't intend to do much different. I intend to continue speaking up. I don't intend for this to stop me in any way. So if that was their intention or their thought behind initiating it, they were sorely mistaken.
She says she wanted to pay her respects at a vigil for Preddy. The VA told her she violated agency rules when she did interviews with the media. A spokesperson says they cannot comment on internal matters.
A Minneapolis couple is accused of misusing millions in donated dollars. That's according to a newly unsealed lawsuit filed by the Minnesota Attorney General. The lawsuit called out a, quote, pattern of flagrant misuse of nonprofit assets, saying the couple misspent $1.3 million from Real Believers Faith Center and another $800,000 from their nonprofit dance studio, Les Jolies. The lawsuit says they used the money to buy things like basketball tickets, luxury travel, and designer goods. The couple, though, Sharon and Larry Cook, say it's all a big lie.
Everything that we've done have been with integrity and transparency.
That's how we operate. They're going to have to answer when we get to the courtroom because documents and truth don't lie.
The Cooks say they have the paperwork needed to back up their word, and they plan to lay it all out in court.
To another story we've been following. Today we saw the newly remodeled Ramsey County Government Center. In fact, we got a behind-the-scenes tour of the building that used to be known as Metro Square in downtown St. Paul. The Ramsey County Government Center has been redesigned and remodeled to better serve the thousands of people needing county services. Major improvements have been made to the service center, career force, and community corrections. People in the community gave input on how this center could be improved. Key county services are now in one building, so it's easier for residents to use them. We're told the remodelers used trauma-informed design concepts to create a calming environment that reduces overstimulation. There are also play areas for kids, so it's easier for families who stop by. Ramsey County Board Chair Rafael Ortega says this renovation was much needed.
The county is deeply committed to making the residential experience simpler, more welcoming, and more effective, ensuring that people can access services they need with clarity and dignity. At the same time, we know investments like the Government Center have helped contribute to a more dynamic downtown.
1,400 county staff work out of that 5-story building. The county is in the process now of putting their Kellogg Boulevard building up for sale.
The beagles freed from a Wisconsin facility accused of animal abuse are now in Minnesota. The pups arrived at the Bond Between Rescue in Minnetonka yesterday. They're part of a group of 1,500 dogs sold from Ridgeland Farms near Madison. The breeding and research facility faced protest and break-ins after state officials said they violated hundreds of rules. They agreed to give up their breeding license and sell hundreds of dogs as part of a settlement. The beagles will now undergo health screenings before going up for adoption here locally.
When looking into this story, I read like a lot of testing facilities use beagles because they're very calm-tempered. And I mean, it's just crazy to think of, it's 2026 and we're still doing testing on dogs. It's just crazy.
It's sad. Yeah. Hopefully they find a home. You can go adopt them soon, it sounds like. And beagles are so cute, too.
They are so cute. Some of them might need some work because, they've spent their whole life inside and some are very timid, but they'll get there.
Glad they're out. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Maria, let's get to sports. The Minnesota Wild, they're down 2-0 in the series.
No.
Yeah, tough game last night. So we talked about how they were changing goalies yesterday, and Gustafsson was not good. So he let in a couple bad goals. The Wild lose 5-2. So now the series shifts back to St. Paul Saturday night. And actually, the Wild today announced they're closing down West 7th for a watch party where all the bars are down there.
Okay,
so
fun.
Saturday will be crazy, but it's definitely a must win.
They've got to win. Oh my gosh. Hopefully they have that, home rink energy and can really pull through.
Saturday night. Yeah, it should be fun. Down 2-0. Not easy, but it's been done before. Let's talk about the Frost, too, because that was a tough loss last night.
Yeah, hopefully Thursday they get that home rink energy because they need it. They lost last night in triple overtime.
Crazy. Yeah. Maddie Rooney had like 51 saves, I saw.
Literally, it was save after save after save. I kept watching it, just hoping there would be at least one goal. And then it was into double overtime. I was like, I need to go to bed. It's like 9:30 at night. And then I woke up to the loss. And gosh, that was such a bummer. But really good hockey. I mean, it was fun to watch.
Great hockey. Yeah. So 1-1. They're in a better spot than the Wild.
They
that's
are.
For sure.
They are. Exactly. Yeah. So final score was Montreal 1, Frost 0. But they have a chance to come back. Thursday, they play at home, and puck drop is at 6.
That'll be a lot of fun in St. Paul, too. And lastly, in sports today, the Wolves, they have a big game. They could go up 2-0 tonight. They're in San Antonio, taking on the Spurs. Another late start, though.
I mean, many late starts.
Can we just get an early game?
Get it. I can't stay up that late.
Unreal, yeah.
I know. 8:30 tonight.
But the Wolves, they're kind of playing with house money tonight, right? Because they were the underdogs heading into the series. We didn't think Ant was going to play.
Right.
You know, he played. Hopefully he plays again tonight. He's questionable right now. But this would be big. If you can come back to Minneapolis up 2-0 against the Spurs, that'd be awesome.
That would be amazing, yes.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
So we want to give a special shout out to the Hopkins Police Department for saving an injured falcon.
Big time work.
Oh my gosh, listen to this. Officers responded to a report of an injured peregrine falcon. Have you heard of these birds, Johnny?
No.
They're tiny birds, but they are the fastest animals in the world.
Really?
Because they can dive at speeds of more than 200 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Impossibly fast, but there was no trouble catching one of them because they were injured. And now this falcon is at the Raptor Center for treatment and will hopefully be released back into the wild soon.
200 miles an hour.
It's really crazy fast, I know.
Oh my gosh. That would be insane. I mean, could you imagine? I wonder what people go like skydiving. Like what speed do you get to?
Oh, that's a great question. Let me Google it. Okay, I just Googled it. This was the top answer, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But that said that skydivers typically fall at a terminal velocity of approximately 120 miles per hour.
So they're going way faster.
Way
than
faster.
Falcons. Oh
Yeah,
my
exactly.
Gosh. Wow.
So hopefully this little guy gets better so he can fly fast again. Well, with Johnny Kahner, I'm Maria Lisignoli. Thanks for joining us here on 4 Things to Know. We're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Love podcasts? Love Minnesota?
Check out the WCCO podcast studio lineup.
Hear the top stories of the day with 4 Things to Know.
Discover top female athletes and teams from around the state on women in sports.
Dive into stories about faith and belief, from your local leaders to your neighbors next door, with bigger than belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO podcast studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.